This is the biggest one. Well guys, welcome back to Red River Living. As you can tell, boy, it is the 1st of July and we are trying to survive this heat right now. Anybody watching any kind of weather or growing anything here in North Texas knows what I'm talking about. And the wind is just not cooperating with us. We woke up this morning with it blowing. We was hoping it would be kind of calm, but we woke up with it blowing. And anyway, we're out here and it's going to be kind of hard to tell, but we've got some beets and the grass has gotten into them. And I just hadn't maintained them the way I should have here. But anyway, we're about to dig the beets up today, get them processed. Y'all going to get to see this garden to cannon here on the beets. So y'all just stay tuned with us here, and I'm going to go to see what I can do about maybe getting these out of the ground. And of course, just about anywhere that I didn't have paper down, I got stickers. There's a couple of real pretty ones there. Well guys, out here I'm going to try to keep some of the dirt and trash out of the house. I'm going to go ahead and cut the tops and the root off of them, and then probably feed these to the cows, see if they'll eat it or not, like we did the corn. But I'm just trying to get try to keep some of the dirt and stuff out of the house here. So just going to get this part cut off of them. And what's a pretty color. It's a shame I think Debbie's on the one family that eats beets. I'll have to look up sometime to see what the health benefits to them are. They sure are really red. Well, this is the biggest one we growed this year. It's a beet now. Look at that, it's a pretty red, ain't it? Hey. Is that what you need? Is that what that Kit Kat needs? She needs her head rubbed. Is that what she's saying? Rub my head, Daddy. Oh, rub my head, Daddy. Yeah, there you go. Get the claws out of me.
Mike has already gotten the beets from the garden and got the tops off of them. I've gotten them in the house and we've gotten them cleaned up. So now what I'm going to do is we've got to boil them in hot water until they get tender. But you don't want them overly tender. So we're just going to boil them till they get halfway tender, probably be a good way to say it. And then we're going to take them and immerse them in ice water, and then we're going to skin them. And that's how we'll get all the skin off of them and get them cleaned up really good. Okay, the beets I think have been boiling probably about 30 to 45 minutes. I think they're tender enough, but they're not too tender that we can't. They'll be easy to work with. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to get me some hot pads. Try to pour that water off of them. So I put them in an ice bath to help cool them down quickly. And then we're going to take them and we're going to see how the skin is coming off of these. So that's what we're wanting to do. We're wanting to get them skinned. So that's our next step, is to basically, last time I just took a little knife and just kind of gently scraped them, but they're not hard to do. You just got to gently skin them. I think I had a knife right here. Here's one. And we basically just kind of see how the skin just really gently comes off of them, and then you cut them into the sizes that you want them. Some people like them in slices. Some people like them in chunks. When my grandmother did it, she always did them in little chunks, little triangle chunks. So that's probably what we'll do, is put them in that. This is a wonderful childhood memory of mine, is eating beets with my grandma. Just cutting the beets up into smaller pieces. I did 2 tablespoons of pickling spice, just regular pickling spice that you would make like sweet pickles, dill pickles, whatever. Just pickling spice. And then I put it in a cloth, tied it up. So that's ready to go. And then it calls for 3 cups of vinegar. All right, we're going to add 1½ cups of sugar. I'm using a ½ cup. I'm going to go ahead and throw my spices in. It calls for 1 cup of water. It also calls for 2 teaspoons of pickling salt. And make sure it's the pickling salt, canning salt, not regular table salt. There's a difference. And then we're going to let this come to a rapid boil. And then once it comes to a rapid boil, we're going to add the beets back to it and let them come to a rapid boil, and then we can put them in our jars.
You got the jars prepping?
Yeah, I just went ahead and put my jars in my water that I'm going to can them in. That'll keep them hot and sterilize them. And then I'll just take them out and put the beets in them. Okay, now that it's come to a boil, as you can tell, it's coming to a boil. We're going to turn it down a little bit and let it simmer for about 10 minutes with the pickling spice. So I'm going to just turn it down just a little bit and then just let it simmer for about 10 minutes, and then we'll add the beets. All right, I've had it simmering for about 10 minutes. I've took out the spices. So I'm going to just add the beets. And we're just going to let them, there's a solid one, I probably need to cut that one. But we're going to let these cook until they come to a boil, and then we'll turn them down. They sure are pretty. We ended up getting 5 jars, which I thought we might only get 4, so that's a good thing. Alright, this is a very important step. Once you have debubbled and make sure that all the air is out, you want to make sure that you use vinegar. This is a little bit of vinegar. And you want to wipe your lids really good, because you don't want any of that sugar or liquid on the tops of your jars, because if you don't get this off, your lids will not seal correctly. And the whole goal is to make sure that they seal. And then once you've gotten that done, then you can just take your lids, and always use new lids. You can use older caps if they're not really rusted, but you always use new lids. And then you're just going to take your caps. You don't want to over tighten. You want to just do them a finger tight. Okay, and then we're going to put them back into our water. And our jars are already hot, so that's a good thing.
Why do you put hot jars back into it?
You don't want to put cold into that hot. It might bust your jars. So, and plus, I didn't want to put hot liquid in a cold jar because it could bust it there too. So
you always want to make sure you
move the temperature. Yes, correct. And since my water was already hot, and then you want to make sure, if you look down in here, you want to make sure there's about an inch over the top of them. You do not want the water to not be over the top. You want the water over the top. And then really and truly, my water is pretty much in a bowl right now. I'm going to let it come up just a little bit, and then we're going to process them for 25 minutes. I'm probably going to wait 5 minutes and then start my 25 minutes. So I'm going to put the lid on it, and that'll keep the heat in there. And then we're going to process them, like I said, 25 minutes once it comes back to a rolling bowl. And then we'll have beets. All right, my timer has gone off, so these have processed 25 minutes. So we've turned them off, and now we're going to go ahead and take them out. And basically, you want them to just sit on the counter. I will probably let these sit overnight and cool down completely. And then when I store them, I take the rings off of them if they've sealed good and wipe my jars real good, and then I'll put them in the pantry on the shelf. But there they are. Aren't they pretty? I hope y'all enjoyed watching us doing our pickling beets. This brought back lots of memories of my childhood of eating beets with my grandma. We appreciate you watching, and we would appreciate if you'd like and subscribe to Red River Living. And we'll see you next time.